Hi, I'm Avery Davidson. Thank you for joining us for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture. My co-anchor Kristen Oaks-White will be back next week. We begin with the big story of the week, the federal elections. Republican Donald Trump is headed back to Washington, D.C., and so is the majority of Louisiana's congressional delegation. Speaker Mike Johnson easily won re-election in the 4th Congressional District. House Majority Leader Steve Scalise is headed back for a 9th term representing the 1st Congressional District. Democrat Troy Carter won a 2nd term to represent Louisiana's 2nd District. Republican Clay Higgins will continue to represent Acadiana and the 3rd Congressional District. Congresswoman Julia Letlow will serve a 3rd term to represent the largest row crop district in the country, Louisiana's 5th District. And Democrat Cleo Fields will return to Congress 28 years after he was last there to represent the newly redrawn 6th Congressional District. With the general elections now behind us, Louisiana Farm Bureau is doubling down on its push for a new farm bill and immediate supplemental assistance to farmers. Many Louisiana farmers are facing their 3rd year in a row of major losses. For farmers growing rice, cotton, corn, and soybeans, Congress must act now so the men and women who feed and clothe us can return to the fields next year.
One of the guys I was talking to the other day used the word purge. He said, this is going to be a purge. I can see it coming. It's not going to be pleasant. And what really worries me is when you go to a bank in the spring and you sit down with your banker and you're looking at your farm plan or your cropping plans or whatnot, and you can't show cash flow, what bank is going to loan money to someone who can't show cash flow in the next crop? You know, I mean, it's crazy.
There's concern, legitimate concern as well. You know, we've had a couple bad years in a row where farmers are carrying debt from the previous year into a new year and trying to figure out where to put that, you know, that debt and how to service that debt after the fact. And it's snowballing.
One thing about it that does not change, I mean, if we don't get this ag policy set up with this farm bill and quit kicking this can down the road, it's going to be detrimental. There are a lot of people hanging on by a thread. And if we can't, you know, get the reference prices up where they need to be to catch up with 2024, 2025 prices of inputs and whatnot, and then with this election year going on and with the promise of tariffs coming, it's going to be bad.
The current farm bill is 6 years old now. It was passed in 2018, and farming has changed a lot, you know, since that time. And those safety nets and those reference prices, you know, have become stale. And it's time to update those to make sure that we do have a safety net for times just like this.
When you ride down the interstate or you ride down the highway or you cross a river bridge and you see these barges running up and down the river with all this grain in it, and you see all these trucks on the road hauling all this grain and these elevators and infrastructure and mills that process all this stuff, the equipment companies, the dealerships that you see, the jobs that all these people have that have a finger or touch any of this, you know, if you take this away, then all that's going to go. I mean, all that depends on what we do here. You know, we depend on them. It's a two-way street, and this is where it kind of starts in my book. It's a small fire right now, and it's only going to get bigger. You know, people are going to play the market, and I think they're going to hold out long as possible because very little, if anything, cash flows right now. I mean, if I had to go to the field right now for 2025, I mean, I guess right now I would probably lean heavily on rice and a few soybeans. To me, corn doesn't cash flow, and cotton is not where it needs to be either. Typically, like I said, 1 out of the 4 you can lean on and it'll help get you through or whatever, but it's not looking that rosy. Not for 25.
The clock is ticking on getting aid not only to farmers but for food security as well. We're asking for your help. Scan the QR code below and send a letter to your representatives in Washington, D.C., letting them know we need a farm bill now. For the 3rd year in a row, drought conditions have led to concerning levels of Gulf saltwater creeping up the Mississippi River. As the river loses mass, it becomes more shallow, meaning it cannot push out saltwater from the Gulf of Mexico. As saltwater creeps up, it threatens water tables along the coast. Crops need fresh water to grow, so this is a major concern for farmers down there. For the 3rd year in a row, the Army Corps of Engineers has built a sand barrier in the river south of New Orleans to reduce inward flow. A spokesperson for the Corps of Engineers says while it has become more frequent, it may be too early to call this a, quote, new normal. That said, the Corps is conducting studies along the full length of the Mississippi to hopefully find ways to put more water into the river.
Yeah, we do have a study underway. The Lower Mississippi River Comprehensive Management Study is taking a full look at the river from Cape Girardeau, Missouri, all the way down to the Gulf, and seeing if there is any better way that we can manage the river as a system as a whole to help prevent future impacts, negative impacts. So it is a 5-year study. We are about 2 years underway with that. We will have something at the end of this study, but it's not going to solve all the problems. 5 years sounds like a lot of time, but when you're looking at something that's, encompassing 7 different states, it really is complex.
Congress is funding the study. Right now, the Corps is optimistic that drought conditions will not reach last year's levels and that this year's sill will be enough to manage saltwater intrusion. Work on the farm can be dangerous. There's giant machinery, 2,000-pound animals, and many other risks. Louisiana Farm Bureau regularly demonstrates these dangers to children, and as TWILA's Josh Meeks shows us, that knowledge is helpful on and off the farm.
These kids got a day away from their classrooms to come spend time outside with state troopers, paramedics, and line workers. But sorry, kids, you still got to do some learning today.
Your body will conduct electricity.
Thankfully, they're learning the cool stuff like electricity, fire safety, and how to properly ride an ATV. To get that, they're listening to the coolest guy I know.
Anybody who's known me for a long time knows that if it's got an engine, I love being on it, but also trying to be safe with it. It's fun to show them whenever I start the engine and kind of rev it really quick, they all kind of jump up. What's that button do?
It starts it.
It sure does.
Matt Sergo is one of Louisiana Farm Bureau's safety experts. His team travels the state, helping teach kids about equipment they may find on the farm. Among the most dangerous to kids are ATVs and dirt bikes.
The biggest thing is keeping them off the public highway. That's still 3/4 of all the fatalities in the U.S. when it comes to ATVs or UTVs are directly correlated to them being operated on public highways. And the next biggest thing for them is wearing a helmet.
At this safety field trip, kids from schools in and around Tensas Parish visited dedicated safety stations. Here, they're learning about fitness and how important it is to get outside and move around every day. Gun safety is also crucial. A sheriff's deputy is making sure they know the dangers of guns and how they can be an important tool if stored properly inside by their parents.
So what is it affecting for you now?
This might look like a game of catch with extra steps, but these kids are being shown the dangers of drunk driving.
We believe it's important to bring this information to these young children early so that we can help them to build great habits as not only as a passenger, but one day when they start driving so that they can practice these great driving habits to keep themselves and others on the roadway safe.
For the past 15 years, Betsy Kriegler has brought these organizations together in the goal of teaching kids in rural areas how to be safe.
We invite all 4th, 5th, and 6th graders now. We want to make it worthwhile. We have presenters that come from all over our region. We do, they do educational program on electrical, gun, railroad safety. We have the fire and the ambulance. We have tractor safety. We just have a lot going on.
While it's mostly fun today, this event was sadly born out of tragedy.
There was a drowning of 3 little boys at Knowlton Elementary School many, many years ago, and they couldn't swim, and they were on a jet ski ramp, and it was a chain reaction. One tried to help one, and we lost 3 little boys, and we have a lot of kids who can't swim, and we're surrounded by water. We have Lake Bruin, Lake St. Joseph, the Mississippi River, and so I was determined that we needed to have some kind of boating and water safety.
Today, they're learning how to quickly get on a life jacket, because if this group can save one life, it's worth it.
Whether it be to dangers that they may come to in their lives, that kind of helps keep safety first and foremost for them.
So this is just education outreach to hopefully keep our up-and-coming drivers safe on the road.
It's a good day, and I'm hoping that they're going home and sharing the information with their parents.
Reporting from Tensas Parish for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, I'm Josh Meeks.
Our thanks to the Tensas Parish 4-H for hosting. For other safety events across the state, check out the Louisiana Farm Bureau's events calendar. We'll link you at twilatv.org. Efficiency equals time and money saved. In Louisiana, you have a partner in Entergy Solutions to help you make your farm or ranch more energy efficient. In this story brought to you by Entergy Solutions, we show you how small changes at one of the state's premier rice operations brought about big savings. It takes a lot of time, care, and hard work to bring you the quality rice that comes from Kennedy Rice Mill in Mer Rouge. With the help of Entergy Solutions, it's taking less electricity, according to Merrill Kennedy Farr.
Our experience working with Entergy Solutions has been phenomenal. It truly aligns with our goals for sustainability and eco-friendly farming practices, and so it was a win-win for both companies. And not only that, but it's allowed us to reinvest into our business, which has been a huge advantage.
The goal of any farming operation is to remain profitable, and Entergy Solutions is helping Kennedy Rice Mill do just that.
Working with Entergy Solutions has been truly seamless. They came here, looked at our facilities, said, you know, I think we can do these things to help you, and then they helped us to actually calculate the savings that we would have on an annual basis, and really it was truly an easy process.
That partnership with Entergy Solutions led to changes in this 125,000 square foot warehouse.
It's been simple changes, right? Like changing your light bulbs to LED, right? From the traditional fluorescent light bulbs that we used to have. So it can be very small things that can make a huge impact. And having Entergy help you with that investment has been truly a win for us.
Other improvements include energy-efficient chillers in this cooler used to store organic varieties of rice, and to keep the cold air in, an extra layer of insulation on the ceiling.
Since starting with Entergy Solutions, we've actually saved 84,000 kilowatt hours. This has been in efficient lighting, but also in efficiency in our cooler. So we operate a cooler unit, and we were able to put some efficiency in that chiller, and I mean the savings have been great. So about $12,500 annually savings for us.
More than $12,000 in annual savings, all because of the relationship Kennedy Rice Mill has with Entergy Solutions.
If you're in agriculture and you're considering contacting Entergy Solutions, this is a no-brainer. I mean, truly, small changes can make a big impact on the bottom line. And in a year like this year, and even the previous year, every dollar really counts. And so let Entergy help you improve your facilities and save money at the same time while being better for the environment. I mean, this is truly a win-win for all of us.
If you would like to learn more about Entergy Solutions and how the folks there can help you save money, visit our website at twilatv.org and click the link with this story. Entergy Solutions can help with everything from ventilation systems to lighting and irrigation systems, including making pumps more efficient. Again, this story is brought to you by Entergy Solutions. Still to come on TWILA, Neil Melancon breaks out his nicest binoculars to go bird watching. And later, we'll show how Farm Bureau gives back to its community, especially as we start to enter those colder months. Stay with us.
You're watching This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, the only TV show bringing Louisiana farmers and consumers together every week.
Looking for some fresh homegrown selections for your holiday gatherings? Louisiana Farm Bureau has you covered. The holiday shop order window is now open. Fresh satsumas, citrus trees, local pecans, and much, much, much more available. Check with your local Parish Farm Bureau office for delivery dates. We have a link to the order form up right now on twilatv.org. If you're into birds or know anyone who is, you know that they go to extreme lengths just to see an exotic species. Fortunately, Louisiana has plenty, including the rare yellow rail. This week, TWILA's Neil Melancon shows us how one farmer is making it easier for people to see this special bird.
Normally when tourists come to Louisiana for wildlife, they're looking for something like this. Here at the Gator Chateau in Jennings, birders from more than 30 states and other countries have come to see this. If you missed it, that was the yellow rail, and here's a better picture. The rare bird likes to roost in rice fields in Louisiana, which gave farmer Kevin Birkin the idea of starting the Yellow Rails and Rice Festival.
It's a very elusive bird out in the wild, but whenever we're harvesting our second crop rice, they're pretty prevalent.
Ellen Schweeney came all the way from Alaska to see the yellow rail in person. Her goal is to see 100 unique birds in all 50 states, and in Louisiana, the yellow rail is at the top of the list.
We drove around rice fields yesterday. There was ducks everywhere, geese everywhere, stilts. I mean, it's beautiful, and the people are so friendly. And that's what I like about birding, because you go to different parts of the world or your country and to see different birds, and the people are amazing. And it's beautiful. You're always out in nature. You're not in a building, you're not watching TV, so you're out in beautiful areas, and it's just fun.
Sweeney also got an education on rice production in Louisiana while she was here, and that's the other half of the story, according to Birkin.
I mean, we can't buy this kind of advertising, this kind of promotion for rice throughout the country. So they leave here with a greater understanding that rice provides habitat for more wildlife than any other crop. Get it, and they buy our rice, and so it's a win-win for us. Whatever we can do to try to promote our product out there, we have to do. Politically, I mean, they really need to get the Farm Bill done. I mean, that's crazy. We have to have that safety net. Our farmers need to have that safety net that's in this new Farm Bill.
Some folks have been to this festival for multiple years in a row and say each time it's like a new experience. Birkin says, similarly, each year is like a new start for each farmer.
What I'm going to tell these people here today, I mean, farmers start a new business every year. You know, so they have to go to the bank, they have to get the money, and then pay it off at the end of the year, and we do it all again next year. So we start a new business every year. And people don't realize, I mean, before you even get anything, you got to pay off, you know, all of the debt that's associated with that crop.
So while it's a fun and fulfilling time for these nature enthusiasts, it's critical that there's rice farmers left for roosts and birders alike. Reporting from Tensas Parish, I'm Neil Melanson.
The Yellow Rails and Rice Festival is in its 16th year and is held in November each year. Louisiana Farm Bureau is obviously known for its work helping farmers, but the efforts don't stop there. For more than 20 years, Louisiana Farm Bureau has fired up its jambalaya pots to help raise money for the Baton Rouge charity Pat's Coats for Kids, started by local forecaster Pat Shingleton. Its effort is apparent in the title. It provides warm coats for school-age children when the temperatures drop.
Well, we say $25 buys a coat in a needed size. When I do these things, and you know, Louisiana Farm Bureau was years ago the catalyst for that. Now other folks will call in and say, hey, look, we have an event over here. We're able to raise X number of dollars. Do you want to come over? And I'll say, well, certainly. And most recently, the independent insurance agents of the United States, I don't know who they were down here, Andy Blumberg, who, I don't know if you know Andy. So I went out there and just kind of did a little thing. Of course, you can't compare to this, but it's somebody asks, you have the opportunity to respond, and I'm all about the betterment of the community, and especially Baton Rouge and keeping these kids warm.
But our employees love to be involved in this event for many years. I've been in the company 20 years, and we've been doing it that long or longer. Now we're in a new location, and so we're glad to continue that tradition and feed our employees too. That everybody loves a little jambalaya, right?
Now, obviously, the jambalaya has long since been claimed and it was delicious, but if you'd like to donate to help Pat's Coats for Kids, we have a link on our website at twilatv.org. Still to come on TWILA, we have a crawfish tail that is certified Louisiana. That's next.
Hello, Brett. How are you?
Hey, Commissioner.
Good.
Brett Dunham. Nice to meet you.
Good to see you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'm Dr. Mike Strain, Louisiana Commissioner of Agriculture and Forestry. We're at Le Chien Brewery in Denham Springs, a certified Louisiana business. Tell me what's going on here.
All right, so this is all the hot side of the process. This is where our cracked grains go in. We're going to convert those starches in the grains to sugars, and we're going to transfer it over to our boil kettle. That's where we're going to bring it up to a boil, add all of our hops, and maybe other ingredients depending on what beer we're brewing.
So where'd you learn this?
We learned most of it, honestly, through home brewing.
That's right.
And
okay. I figured there had to be some home brewing in there, right?
So this all began with me and my dad brewing on the back porch.
One day we were just talking about making beer, and we decided, let's do it, okay? And at that point, it kind of became an obsession.
All the beer is made in-house. We have up to 15 beers on tap at any given time. Our kind of main staple beer is called Tail Wagger, and it's a Belgian wit with fresh orange zest and orange peels, coriander, and a little bit of honey. We also have a honey lager called We Be Buzzin', and it's just a stripped down, clean American lager with a little honey added to it.
You know, the certified family, Louisiana Family, one, we use Louisiana products. We promote and we grow Louisiana products. We grow that local economy and culture. And now people more than ever, each and every day, look for that certified logo to know that it's fresh, that it's local, and that it is certified Louisiana.
Le Chien Brewing Company is right outside the Antique District in Denham Springs, Louisiana. This is an old oil change facility, So kind of our brewing tanks are right under our feet right now in a basement, one of the only ones in Louisiana.
Wow. Now, did you build this here, or was this
so
like
the
a coaling
pit
station?
Was here. This
pit
was an oil
here.
change place.
Oil change place.
Yeah, so here we're in the pit of Lachin Brewing Company. This is one of the few basements in the area. Basically, upstairs is all the hot side of the process.
Right.
We run it through the heat exchanger. We pull it downstairs. We're gonna come into one of these 4 tanks over here. These are unitank fermenters. We're going to ferment all those sugars into alcohol, and it's gonna give us the flavors that we want. From there, we're gonna transfer it. We're gonna move it into one of these 8 tanks over here behind me.
Okay.
And we're gonna finish carbonating it there, and these are basically big kegs. The name of the brewery is Lachin Brewing Company, and it means the dog in French. So we wanted to kind of pay tribute to our brewing dogs that are always there with us brewing beer, and we're huge dog people. So, and we feel like a lot of craft beer people are dog people as well. So we wanted to create an environment where you could bring your dog and still pay kind of tribute to that Cajun French heritage that we have. So the food truck is, we wanted to have the atmosphere of the food truck. We wanted to have it like differently themed to where we could, it feels like it's a different entity,
right?
But we're also a restaurant, and all of our food is sold through this. We're actually a restaurant. A lot of people, it's kind of hard to realize that, but the food truck belongs to us, and we prep everything here on site. We make artisan hand pies, so it's kind of like what you think of a Natchitoches meat pie, but with kind of a flakier crust.
So we have our cool little pasta machine. We make little doughs. We scoop in a nice serving. These are really big pies. And then we're just gonna egg wash them.
And that's just egg wash them,
just
right?
An egg wash.
Okay. Just flip it over.
Flip, smash down, and we just keep flipping.
Okay. No, wait, yours looks a whole lot better than mine now.
Well, it's
Right.
only a few months of making pies, you know.
I
but
see.
these
Yeah,
look better than bread.
I got to get my flipping down.
The reason we became certified is we love Louisiana and what it represents, and we have some of the best food in the world here. Locals love to support Louisiana businesses. Having a brand that kind of organizes that is really cool.
Born and raised here, okay, and we want to represent Louisiana the best we can, and we do that through Certified Louisiana program.
Certified Louisiana's Crawfish Tales with Commissioner Mike Strain was brought to you by the Louisiana Department of Agriculture and Forestry Certified Louisiana program. For information about the Certified Louisiana, Certified Cajun, Certified Creole, Certified Craft Beverage, and the Certified Farm to Table Logo program, visit certifiedlouisiana.org or ldaf.la.gov. Support Louisiana families. Look for Certified Louisiana logos at your favorite grocery, restaurant, or farmer's market. Buy Louisiana. It's the way to grow.
Where does he get those wonderful stories? Always love seeing those crawfish tales. Well, that does it for this edition of TWILA. Be sure to join us next week when I'll have an update from Washington, D.C. Louisiana Farm Bureau leaders are going there to make their case for supplemental assistance for farmers and a new farm bill. Until then, you can watch all of our stories online at twilatv.org. Be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, check us out on TikTok. You'll also find all of these stories and more on our YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe, turn on those notifications. That way you know when we put something new out. For all of us here at TWILA, thanks for joining us. We hope to see you again right here next week.